everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Sacred Union energy update. Did not want to do this tonight. Did not want to do it. But there is a lot of heart openings happening. There's a lot of love that just feels like it's pouring through in the energy. And I'm getting guided to do a reading. Do not want to do it. Do not want to do it. As I said in yesterday's reading, check it out. It is now posted on the channel. My ego is like, do not want to believe. Do not want to believe as much as my heart is believing. Man. So, all right, we'll do it. Take the messages as they resonate for you. For your counterpart connection, this could be a high-level soulmate that's coming in. This could be for your own energies. Take it as it resonates for you, but we are going to see what the heck is going on. What is this energy? Let me just talk about this energy for a moment. After some tumultuous energy in the month of May, especially with eclipse season and Mercury retrograde, which is ending. We have the new moon in Gemini tomorrow and Monday. We have the end of Mercury retrograde. We'll still have the shadow period, but we have the end of Mercury retrograde. And so there was a lot that was coming up and releasing with this energy, especially this eclipse season was a lot of releasing that was happening. And with the releasing was anchoring in. So I had channeled today on the community tab, Facebook, Instagram, that it was a lot of the ending and beginning energy. We were in this in-between energy for the past several months where we knew something was ending. We could feel the excitement of the beginning. It really feels like with this Gemini season, moving into the rest of summer is going to be the snowball effect where we are just in this new energy of ourselves, and it just feels so good. It really feels so good. This is what our transformation has brought us. This is what this ascension journey has been for. It's been for this new higher consciousness. It's been for this new frequency of peace and joy that we're anchoring in. And even if we experience challenges, even if we experience difficulties or struggle, we know with full knowing that we are supported, that we are taken care of, that we are loved, that we are strong, that we can get through it. We know that this is part of our soul's purpose and our soul's journey. We are still human. We do not bypass anything. We allow ourselves to feel whatever it is that we need to feel. If it's anger, if it's grief, if it is fear, we allow ourselves to feel whatever it is that we need to feel, but we allow ourselves to transmute that. That is our ascension. Learning how to alchemize, learning how to master ourselves. We learn that we are in control of ourselves, not anything else, but we're in control of ourselves, and we create from the energy. And so we're really anchoring into that new version of ourselves, that higher frequency where we can really see that higher picture, that bigger picture, receiving clarity, receiving understanding. And there's so much love that's coming through. And this is a lot of sacred partner energy that's coming through. So this is love that's coming through from your divine counterpart to you. God, I do not want to do this. My ego's like, my divine counterpart and I personally are just walking our separate paths right now, walking on our separate journeys. I feel him within me, but I'm at peace in my life. As he's not part of my life right now. He's not part of my physical life by his choice. And I feel a lot of peace with that because there's a lot of acceptance there. And so my ego is like, oh my God, I don't want to believe anymore. I don't want to believe in this journey anymore because it's like I'm finally feeling good and feeling peaceful and feeling balanced and just allowing myself to feel the love from him. But man, it's hard. It's hard to feel that, to receive that love, to believe in that love, especially when it's not physical, especially when you're not seeing the physical mindedness of that. So that's where I'm battling my ego. That's where I'm dealing with right now, is battling the mind and the heart. My whole journey, I've believed in what I felt. My whole journey, I've believed in the knowing of his love for me. Even as, he said whatever it was he needed to say, or even as, we were in our relationship, or we were in this journey physically together for the past 5 years. with a couple of weeks or a couple of months of, non-communication at a time, but never any real separation. And my whole journey, I've been trusting in what I've been feeling. And I feel like I reached this place where I released him, where I released just the journey itself, and just released the past. Like I said yesterday, in yesterday's reading, it feels like I've been reincarnated or reborn in this lifetime, and the past decades of my life, my whole life previously, feels like a past lifetime itself. Even though it's all this lifetime, it feels like a past lifetime, including my counterpart. Um, he feels as familiar as he is. He feels very much like a stranger too. As much as I know him better than anybody, he also feels like somebody that I don't know, and I think that's because I've anchored into new energy. He's potentially anchoring into new energy, or he is anchoring into new energy. What that looks like in the physical form, I don't know. What that looks like in, the 3D, I have no idea. And that's where my ego is battling my heart. My ego is trying to remain fixed on the illusion. But that's where I think that I'm still letting go of the past cycle and the past version of us, especially having been with him for so long in the physical proximity and communication. It's hard to release that past version, especially when that past version kept perpetuating. That past cycle kept perpetuating. I kept seeing patterns and behaviors. But I've shifted, and as I've shifted, there has to be an allowance for other people to shift as well. But part of my shift is that I've just really accepted where we are, and I feel really good about everything because I want him to be happy and working on himself and doing whatever it was that he wants and whatever it is that he needs to be doing for his life that gives him stability and happiness and success. And there's that unconditional love that I just want him to be happy, and myself as well. And there's a big sense of peace that's coming in. However, tonight, there's just so much love that's coming through from the masculine energy. Again, whether this is the person that you thought it was, or whether this is somebody that's coming in, like a high level soulmate or another conscious masculine connection that you can feel, I'm not sure. I don't know. Take it as it resonates for you. It's going to look a little bit different for everybody, but all I can say is that I'm feeling the masculine energy, and it feels very loving. It feels very supportive. It feels very much. It feels. I'm gonna say what I'm receiving. I've been waiting for you my whole life. I've been waiting for this my whole life. That's what it feels like. So if this is your person that you've been kind of on this journey with, then this is a big transformation where they have become accepting of this connection and recognizing you as their partner, as their person, and honoring that feminine energy. If this is somebody else that you've yet to meet, then this is, a beautiful, beautiful connection that is going to be coming through. Take it again as it resonates for you, or as your truth, whatever that might be. But this is so much love. Oh my gosh, and it feels very, very grounded. There is some regret in the undercurrent of this. There is some, I can't believe I didn't see it in the past. I can't believe I allowed myself to treat you this way, or to treat the feminine energy this way, depending on if you've met before or not, or if this is your counterpart or not, or if this is somebody new. Whatever this is, there's this undercurrent of, I can't believe that I didn't see it before. So this could be, if this is somebody new, it could be that this is how they treated women in the past, or feminine energy in the past. But this is definitely, it's not regret as in like it's weighing them down. This is a sudden awareness and acknowledgement, and a desire for change. There's a big desire for change that's coming through here, and that's coming from their awareness, this new level of awareness for themselves. So let's see what the heck is going on. I'm going to make this a divine masculine reading. Yeah, we're gonna do it like that, because I will talk about the divine feminine a little bit, but check out the recent sacred union energy update on guarded hearts for both counterparts. But this really feels like masculine energy coming through, and I want to understand what's going on here. So, Spirit, tell me what's going on for the divine masculine right now, please. Tell me what's going on for the divine masculine life purpose. But what I'm actually getting drawn to is that heart chakra, that heart opening with the life purpose card, and I feel like we had this recently in a reading. Um, it might have even been, I don't know when this was. This might have been a pick a pile over on my Patreon. I can't remember, but it was very recent that we received this card. And what I'm receiving from this is, oh, and look, it's almost like this symbol makes up um, the Ankh being that sacred symbol of higher consciousness. So it feels like there's this a sudden connection. It doesn't feel sudden like, oh my gosh, it's overnight, but it feels like this breakthrough. That's what it is. It feels like a revelation. It feels like a breakthrough of consciousness where they are suddenly feeling this connection to themselves, to the world, and as such, they're feeling this connection to you. Part of why they had held back from their divine feminine or pushed their divine feminine away was because they weren't connected to themselves. They weren't connected to the world in a grounded way. They weren't connected to God's source. There was a disconnect, there was a detachment, there was a missing piece. But they discovered that missing piece, and that missing piece is within themselves. That missing piece is their own heart. And the more they feel into their heart and allow themselves to feel to their heart, the more connected they feel, and that is what is natural. They were living in a very unnatural state of being. They didn't recognize this because this was the old paradigm. This was the old template of distorted masculine energy. They were kind of just going through the motions, doing action or taking action, but in a very unconscious way. This is a new level of consciousness for them, and consciousness is awareness. It is an awakening. It is this ascension journey. It is connection to oneself. And so with this new level of consciousness, their heart is just opened. And they're feeling connected, and because they're feeling connected to themselves, they're feeling connected to their divine feminine. Anything else? Anything else from this deck that we need to know? Anything else from this deck that we need to know? The garden and abundance. With this connection, they're beginning to recognize that they create their own world, that they have the ability to manifest or create. I don't want to use the word manifest. It doesn't feel right. It really feels like to direct, to create their own life. Up until now, again, they were just kind of going through the motions, what everybody expected them. And even if there were, it's almost like this. It's like, it wasn't that they had to choose the job that somebody wanted for them, or the partner that somebody wanted for them, although that could be the case for many. What I mean is, as a whole, well, this is who you are. And so, like, people telling them this is who you are, and so they just accepted that. They just internalized that rather than recognizing, I am who I want to be. This is who I want to be. And they had hid themselves away from who they truly want to be. They had stopped themselves from having dreams. They prevented themselves from having passions. They prevented themselves from having desires. They really made themselves smaller inside of themselves. And now what they're recognizing is they don't need to do that anymore. They're recognizing, again, that connection to themselves. They're recognizing, I can be my true self with all of my loves and all my desires and all my passions and all my quirky interests. I can be human. I can be a spiritual being in this human form. That's what divine masculine is really understanding, that it's not about one or the other, it's about balance here. And that they can really ground who they are into a higher level of consciousness with a higher level of spiritual awareness, recognizing that they are first and foremost soul in this human experience. And as this is their human experience, they get to create the life that they want to live and not hold themselves back, and recognizing that they were holding themselves back. And what they were doing was they were holding themselves back from their abundance. They were holding themselves back from allowing themselves to just thrive in their own heart garden. And what I love about this is here in the trees is a unicorn. They were hiding from their own magic. And I feel like this is the divine feminine that's just like waiting for them in that heart center and that heart garden on the bridge of the heart. And just like, yeah, I've been waiting for you here. I've been waiting for you to realize this, but they had to go through this process for themselves. The door is wide open for them to just walk through and experience this joy and this magic and this abundance, because once they tap into their heart center, that's where the abundance comes from. Once they recognize that connection to themselves and even their connection with their feminine, because the connection with their feminine is magic in and of itself, because it is nothing but pure love. And so once they accept that and once they tap into that, then it's like, yeah, that's where all this abundance comes from. Now, it's not about saying, well, I want abundance, so I'm going to meet up with my divine counterpart. That is still distorted energy. This is about really recognizing the connection within oneself and saying, I want to be the love. I want to be the joy. I recognize myself as sovereign, as self-empowered, as in my self-mastery. I recognize myself as a beautiful divine soul that is worthy of the universe, that is part of the universe and thus is worthy of the universe. From that new energy, from that higher consciousness, that's when it all comes to fruition. So the universe is very clear what is distorted and what is divine. And anything that is not divine, anything that is still in the energy of distortion or manipulation or control, will get knocked out. All right. Tell me more about this divine masculine energy, please. Tell me more about this divine masculine energy. What's the divine masculine experiencing right now? What's the divine masculine experiencing? Yes, look how fierce that is. That's Leo energy there, but that Leo energy is confidence, it is strength, it is courage. Take back your power. That is what they are doing. And look at all that energy, that universal life force energy, that primal life force energy that is surrounding them. This is a masculine who is unafraid of stepping up. This is a masculine who is unafraid of claiming themselves. This is not controlling others, but recognizing that you only control yourselves. This is a masculine who is unafraid to take the lead for their own life. This is a masculine who is unafraid to just step forward for the life that they want to create, the life that they want to live. What's the masculine experiencing right now? Frozen in time, stagnant and cold. It feels a long time ago. Let me get one more card. One more card, please. One more card. The yin, the rise of the divine feminine. The feminine energy is rising within the masculine. Yesterday we got the yang energy. So frozen in time, a long time ago, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that, we had channeled that the masculine's heart, what I had gotten was a vision of the masculine's heart kind of encased in this block of ice. And when they met their divine feminine and their ascension was activated, what happened was that ice began to thaw. Metaphorically, what was happening was they were beginning to feel their emotions, express their emotions, where they had really compartmentalized and held themselves back. And that's part of why they were afraid of the connection. Divine Feminines, you had your own issues with the connection. You experienced this in a different way, in a different light. But for the Divine Masculine, part of why they were afraid was because distorted masculine template says that you cannot show your feelings. You cannot cry, you cannot be upset. And so that's where a lot of the anger comes from in this society. It's conditioned energy, because rather than get upset, it comes out as anger. But what is anger? But it is just grief with nowhere to go, unexpressed energy. And so it comes out as anger, but underneath the surface, there's more emotion there. But they had to compartmentalize that based on the old paradigm. They might have had people growing up that said, For example, if it was a male masculine, be a man. Or if it was a female masculine, big girls don't cry. That kind of energy, right? And so, not allowing themselves to express their emotions, thus, not allowing themselves to express their very soul self. Because your emotions are a part of you. You're not attached to them, but that is how you express who you are. That's how you express your soul self. That's how you express your spirit. And so they really had suppressed that, and it was like enclosed in this block of ice. But what happened through this ascension journey is that began to thaw out. That's the energy that's coming back here. They're taking back their power. They're allowing themselves to express themselves, and they're coming out of this frozen energy, this stagnant energy where they felt like, I don't know how to go forward. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to take back control of my life. I don't know how to lead my life. I don't know how to create my life. I don't know. I don't know. They're moving out of that energy because they're feeling the beauty, the guidance, and the love of the feminine energy. There's so much love pouring through from the divine masculine for the divine feminine right now. It's like they're opening up and really seeing with clear eyes what their divine feminine has meant for them. And if they had pushed that divine feminine away, it's like they're seeing how they had pushed her away, why they had pushed her away, and how they never really wanted to push her away. They always wanted to draw her closer, but it was old patterns and conditioning and behaviors that they were repeating, old karma that they were repeating, that pushed them away rather than drawing them closer. But they're waking up to this and understanding this, and they're saying, you know what? I want to act differently. I want to behave differently because I want different for my life. All right, I'm going to use this deck. All right, what's going on with the masculine when it comes to this? Oh gosh, when it comes to this connection. I do want to mention too, because they're bringing it to me, over the past couple of months, there's been a huge shift for the masculine energy that we've been channeling here. There's a couple of readings, not specifically for the masculine, but that we've been channeling heightened masculine energy. I think it's called Masculine Healing, the Masculine Within. So take a look back on my channel at the titles, the ones that really have that masculine energy emphasized. Really important, powerful messages when it comes to the divine masculine and the transformation that they've been undergoing. So to make sure that you check that out. Also make sure that you're checking out the sacred channelings over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections, my sister channel. All right, tell me about the masculine and this connection, please. I thought I saw something flipped over. Okay, maybe not. All right, tell me about the masculine and this connection, please. What's the masculine feeling, thinking, doing when it comes to this connection? Let's get the headspace. Let's do it like this. Let's get the headspace for the masculine when it comes to this connection. We have the Hanged Man. The headspace. We have the Magician, and we have the Queen of Wands. We also have the Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck, which is this surrender, it's this healing energy. So we have the Hanging Man, and that's another card of surrender, they're saying. It's another card of just allowing it to come. This Magician card is your divine masculine, really understanding their creative power. Really, the Magician is the self-master. He has all the tools here. He has the wand that takes action. He has the cup, which is his emotions. He has the sword, which is his mental clarity and thoughts. He has the pentacles, which is his finances, tangible world, very physical world. It's also stability and balance for me. So when I'm seeing the Hanged Man, the Magician, and the Queen of Wands here, what I'm seeing is the Queen of Wands being the feminine energy. They are focused on you. When I say focused on you, I mean feeling your energy. You are there in their mind. You are there guiding them. You are there almost as like that voice in their head, in a positive light. What would my feminine do? What would my feminine say? But in a very guiding way, in a very lovely way. Um, it's not a I feel like I'm articulating it in like a codependency way, and that's not it at all. It's just that they feel your energy in a way that they hadn't allowed themselves before, and you're there in their mind, you're there in their heart where they are thinking about you, and it's like you're guiding them. Your energy is just guiding them towards this better future, towards this creation energy. And because of that, because they're seeing you in your strength, in your power, in your beauty, really owning yourself and your confidence. The Queen of Wands is somebody who is confident, somebody who is able to take action. They're seeing you just glow up in this beautiful way in your life. And because of that, they are wanting to really take control of their own life and create from that aspect, and recognizing that the power they have to do that. And so there's this energy of surrender here, but it's not so much surrender as in I'm not going to do anything. It's not stagnant energy that the hanged man sometimes can be, because what I'm actually seeing is this kind of wheel of fortune energy. The wheel is turning. They're just surrendered now to, rather than trying to fight against it and create resistance, they're surrendered to this. They're surrendering to their own creative abilities. They're surrendering to their own power. In many ways, they're surrendering to this connection. They're surrendering to their feminine's guidance. Again, where they had once pushed that energy away and shut down the connection between you two, now they're surrendering to it. Really, really interesting. Heart space. What's going on in the heart space for the divine masculine when it comes to this connection? Heart space. The moon. The Five of Cups. Yep, that's the energy we were channeling in the beginning. One more, please. The Four of Wands. I knew something like that was going to come out. Okay, so what I'm feeling with the moon, the Five of Cups, and the Four of Wands is the energy we were channeling in the beginning, where I said there's this undercurrent of regret here. Even though there are two cups still standing here, see how they're crying over the past, they're crying over how I behaved, how I acted, how I pushed my feminine away, how I pushed love away, how I suppressed my own heart. They're crying over this. They're recognizing that there are still two cups here. They are recognizing the two cups. They are recognizing the connection, but they need to move through this energy. They have to move through this energy of regret. They have to move through this energy of grief. They have to move through this energy of letting go of their fears, especially when it comes to this connection. That's what they're moving through right now. They're feeling it in their heart space. I feel like their mind is a little bit more clear than their heart. But they are moving through this energy, and they have to allow themselves to feel this energy, because that's part of the healing process, and that's part of the process of what is going to enact that change for them, or create that change for them. What I'm actually hearing is create the desire for that change. They need to feel this emotion. They need to feel the full force of their own actions, the consequences of their own actions, not in the physical world, but energetically. They need to feel, how do I say this? They need to move through their emotions. That's part of the process for them, because that's connecting them back to themselves. Feeling their emotions, even the unpleasant emotions, is what's connecting them back to themselves, because they had tried to deny, suppress, or sweep under the rug their emotions in the past, especially unpleasant emotions when it comes to this connection. And so they need to allow themselves to feel the remorse and feel the regret, and come to this energy of forgiveness. And the more they come to this energy of forgiveness, the more self-love is going to be there, the more they're going to be opening up their hearts, the more they're going to feel a sense of freedom, and the more they're going to be able to move forward in their life. So feeling these emotions brings about freedom for them. They're not recognizing it as such yet. They're still in this process, but feeling their emotions is going to bring about the sense of liberation that they're just not aware of yet, but they're moving through it. And what that's going to do is it's going to help them work through their fears and say there's nothing to fear. oh, these were the emotions that I was trying to hide away from. This was what I was fearing. Um, it's okay. It's okay because there's forgiveness here. It's okay because there's love here. And so in their heart of hearts, this is what they want. This commitment, celebration, joy, happiness, partnership. This Four of Wands, that 1111 number. This is what is the driving force for them to keep moving through this process of regret, remorse. Again, it's an undercurrent. It doesn't feel like a dark night of the soul. It's just emotions that they're moving through right now. It's part of the process of release that they're moving through right now. But again, this is the guiding force. This is what's getting them through it, because they know that on the other side is it's this transformation within themselves and transformation within the connection. So there's a lot of release that's happening now. There's moving through their fears, moving through their painful emotions, but they're kind of coming out the other side of it, or they are coming out the other side of it. Again, recognizing the Two of Cups are still standing, but they have to feel their emotions first. That's part of the process. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable is what I'm hearing from Spirit. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It gets easier as Divine Feminines. We know it gets a lot more peaceful and a lot more joyous, but we have to allow ourselves to feel those emotions first in order to release them. And that's what Divine Masculine is learning right now. And what's going on in the physical world? What's going on in the physical world? The Seven of Wands. The Devil. The Devil came out in yesterday's reading as well for the Divine Feminine, releasing that attachment. What's interesting about this is I feel the Seven of Wands and the Devil here. I'm going to get one more card, but I feel like that's... Is there anything else? And Judgment, yeah. So I'm going to read that in a second, but these two cards really go together, because what I'm feeling is Divine Masculine is fighting against the devil energy. The devil energy is that distortion. It's the toxic behavior, the toxic masculinity, old templates, old versions of the selves, poor behavior, addictions, all that like soul sludgy stuff, right? Divine Masculine is saying, you know what? Nope, I'm going to stand up against it. I don't want to be in this energy anymore. I don't claim this for myself. I don't want this for myself. I'm standing up against this. I'm guarding myself against this. And what I'm actually called to are these two pillars here that are kind of guiding the way through this portal, through this door. And the masculine's here saying, this is the old. You see all these 7 wands, or these 6 wands that he's fighting against? He has this one in his hand. He's like, this is all old energy. It's coming up again, but I don't have to adhere to it. I don't have to welcome it in. I know I'm walking into a new life. I know I'm walking into a new version of myself. And what I'm actually seeing is it's almost like I'm not even going to fight. There's no use in fighting this. All I have to do is walk away and close the door. That's what your masculine is doing. And with the Judgment card, this is my, number one, it's a second chance card, and it's my awakening card. Your Divine Masculine is really awakening to this new conscious version of themselves, where they're saying, you know what? I don't have to battle things that are not on my frequency anymore. I can just turn my back to it and walk away into a new and higher version of myself. I don't have to bring myself down to this toxic energy anymore. This is new energy for the Divine Masculine. This is just a new higher version of themselves, a higher consciousness, a new recognition of themselves, a new awareness of themselves. They're recognizing the energy that they were in before, they don't have to be in anymore, but that is their choice. And that's part of their awakening. That's part of their ascension. All right, let's get some romance. How is the Divine Masculine feeling towards the Divine Feminine? Playfulness, that card, well, not that card, but that energy came out yesterday, that wanting a lighthearted energy, not wanting the intensity or the drama or the pain that came about in the past. And what I'm actually hearing is where they recognize that they were the purveyors of some of that pain by pushing that love away. They want to welcome that love in, and by welcoming that love in, recapturing romance, rebooting the connection. They want to open themselves up to love again. Attraction, very physically and energetically attracted to their counterpart. children. Your love life is being affected by children, but it feels more like that inner child. And as they've healed that inner child, it's almost like recognizing the inner child within each other. And part of the reason why so much pain persists in connections is because you're seeing things as they seem to be and not as they really are. And if we would just look at the energy underneath, if we would just look at the inner child that is yearning for love or asking for love or wanting love, then we would have more compassion for each other. We would have more understanding for each other. That's what this really feels like. It feels like the divine masculine is really beginning to see their own inner child and nurture their own inner child and beginning to understand the divine feminine's inner child, by which I mean to understand that the divine feminine, as much as strong as she is and as confident as she is and as much as it might seem like she doesn't need anything or anybody, she is she has her own inner child too that is wanting that love, that is deserving of that love. She's been through her own traumas, her own patterns, her own pain, her own situations and experiences. Divine Masculine is beginning to really understand this and honor his feminine's inner child as well, and what she has been through to affect her energetic child. I'm getting this vision. It's I think it's from Burning Man. I can't remember, but it's a sculpture, and it's two adults that are sitting on the ground back to back, right? And it's a sculpture that is see-through. And when you're looking through the sculpture, you see, even though they're back to back as adults, you see the inner children reaching out to touch each other, to reach out to each other, facing each other and yearning for each other. That's what this energy feels like. It feels like the more you get in touch with your own inner child, the more you begin to understand your partner's inner child, and the more you get to communicate from that place of innocence and love. And that's what it is all about, truly. That's what it's all about. Our souls are naturally innocent in a way. Just, loving and wanting to love and connect. And so the more that we understand that, the more we're able to have compassion, the more we're able to express that love. But too often we miscommunicate or we misunderstand each other, and so it feels like we are back to back, like we can't see each other, we can't talk to each other. But our inner children are yearning, longing to communicate and express affection and express love. Divine Masculine is beginning to understand this and see the Divine Feminine in a whole new light as well. Bottom of the deck, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. This is actually physical commitment, as in couples, partnerships, relationship, that kind of thing. This is also a higher level of engagement, a deeper level of intimacy, vulnerability, and emotional engagement with one another. How is the Divine Masculine? How is he thinking the Divine Feminine feels about him? What does he think the Divine Feminine feels for him or is thinking about him? What does the Divine Masculine think the Feminine feels or thinks about him right now? What does the Divine Masculine think or feel? He feels like the feminine is holding herself back. He could think that she's walking away from him, but this is, she has her guard up. And what I'm hearing is rightfully so, based on how I've behaved. So I'm actually hearing that from a masculine, rightfully so. Masculine thinks feminine has her guard up and is holding herself back. Not in the same way as the masculine did, not pushing away, but in a sense of honoring herself, in a sense of I'm not going to abandon myself by giving more of myself than what you are deserving of. That's what the feminine is saying to the masculine. That's what the masculine thinks the feminine is saying, and that's what in actuality she could be saying. I'm not giving more of myself than what you deserve. So holding herself back in a way. More on this? What does the masculine think the feminine is? What does the masculine think the feminine is feeling towards him? Masculine is really feeling that regret, and he actually feels like the feminine might be regretting her whole connection. He might be in a little bit of a place of illusion as well, truly. He might be in a place of, what's the word? Not quite self-deception, but, like, not self-sabotage, but, like, really giving himself a hard time. He's really giving himself a hard time right now. He might feel like the feminine is regretting their whole connection, especially as he feels her detach, especially as he feels her kind of moving on. But he still has hope, and he thinks, yeah, Divine Masculine might be feeling a little bit rejected right now. I feel like Divine Masculine is really feeling this. Okay, I'm getting a couple of messages. Divine Masculine might be feeling this energetically, as in, like, he might still be feeling this connection energetically, just like the feminine is feeling this connection energetically, and that's giving him hope, and he's hoping that the feminine feels that hope too. He's hoping that the feminine still feels the connection, still feels the faith and the knowing that this is all going to come together. It's almost like he's saying, please hold space for me, please hold space for me, I'm trying is what I'm getting. Please don't regret anything that we've experienced. Oh my gosh, this is very emotional, you guys. Please don't regret anything that we've experienced together. Please don't regret our journey. I've seen you grow. I have seen you blossom. I have seen you transform. I see you now. I see you. Please don't regret anything it took to get us here. It took me a long time to understand myself, and it took me a longer time to understand you and our connection. But please have faith in me. Please believe in me. Please don't give up on me, because I am learning how to have faith, believe in, and trust in myself along this journey. I'm finally connecting to myself, and I feel you. I feel you, and I don't want to let this go. Very emotional energy from the Divine Masculine here. It's hard for me to do this reading. Did not want to do it. Did not want to believe it. Just take it as it resonates for you guys. Just take it all as it resonates for you. I can't help what I channel. I just gotta trust it. All right, let's get a Conversations with Counterparts, and then I'll end with a Written on the Heart romance. These are both available in my Etsy shop. Divine Masculine to Divine Feminine, what do you want to say? I'm struggling to share my heart, and I'm rediscovering who I am. It was exactly what we just channeled just then. Exactly what we just channeled. And I don't understand how I could fall so fast. They are in love with you. They love you so deeply and so much. Now, do not let that, Divine Feminines, reattach yourself to this connection. Don't let that reattach you to the hope and clinging and needing that outward union with your Divine Masculine. Allow yourself to receive it. Allow yourself to be open to this love and receive this love and feel the presence of this love. And that's all you need. That is all you need to do. Continue in your journey. Continue keeping your heart open and loving your masculine and having compassion for your masculine and receiving their love. But there is nothing that you need to do. There's no action that you need to take unless you are called to, unless your intuition tells you to. But just honor yourself and just allow yourself to receive this love, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Just receive it and say, thank you, Divine Masculine. I love you, and I always love you, and I carry you in my heart, because that is the truth. You are always connected. You are always in union with your Divine Masculine. There is no separation, and thus you always feel the love between you two. And if it is meant to unfold in this physical union, then you allow it to unfold. But in the meantime, just allow yourself to be very present and just receiving of this love. Damn it, Spirit, I feel like that was a message for me too. Spirit telling me, stop fighting this, Susan. Stop fighting yourself. Just receive the love in presence. Okay, got it. Roger that. Divine masculine to divine feminine. Divine masculine to divine feminine. For fuck's sake. This love is forever. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for tonight. We will be back next week with some more Sacred Union energy updates to see what's going up. To see what's going on, what's up with the masculine, the feminine, the union energies, just like usual. Make sure that you check out the reading from yesterday and hop over to Susan Dawn Ascension Connections for more in-depth channelings next week. I'm sending you so much love, so much light, and we'll see you next time. Bye.